running a business or being a CEO or running different ventures, you should be good in your body, you should be good in your mind, you should be good in a mental space. So in a day, you do almost 100 to 150 decisions, small decisions. I think part of life is to fail, like life is not a curve up. So first of all, you have to trust people. You really do. To be successful, you have to give trust to people. I would say I fear death when the people I care about are not very independent. My philosophy is to give and expect nothing in return.
Were you always this ambitious to get to the status that you are currently?
Do you regret spending time at work more than your family? And the answer was yes. When you travel, when you leave the country you are born, you learn a lot.
With the industries that you're involved in comes a lot of creativity. What are you creative about in your personal life?
Start from zero.
Start from zero. Absolute.
I'll go to beach, sell ice cream. Bootstrap, but if you need it immediately, bootstrap if you can. Raise fund only when you think you need it in the future, not immediately. So time, very important to give you an answer.
What do you see at the end of the line for yourself? What makes you think that you would be sitting back as an old man and you would think, okay, I've done everything that I could in life and my life has been a successful one?
Legacy is not only about your name. For me, legacy, when you have the people you care about, they are no longer in need of you or your name because you make them independent. Exiting is built of my cycle, entrepreneurship cycle.
One thing that I've noticed every time that I meet you, maybe every few months I meet you, is how you keep changing every time. And I mean this in appearance. Of course, in mindset you evolve, but in appearance, there's always something different going on. You look like you've lost a lot of weight. And I just saw you, I think 4 or 5 months ago, just in this little duration.
Yeah, I've been, I've been into transformation in terms of body, mind, and habits over the past 2.5 years, and I've decided to quit smoking.
Okay.
That was a decision I made it. I remember in September 2023. This was my last cigarette I've done, and then decided to lose weight. After that, followed. Then I started on a diet. I'm very open towards it. I've done Manjaro. I've tried to do so many exercises. I joined the triathlon. So I really worked on this aspect on 360 degree, see what could be good for me in the transformation. So yeah, I've followed very strict schedule. I didn't do good the past few months, to be honest.
Okay.
And I'm trying to cover up. Past summer was very interesting for me. So that's the reason why.
So from the time when you were a child, were you big on sport? Were you big on sports and stuff?
Not really at all. When I started triathlon, I hated the swimming, I hated running, and I hated cycling.
Oh, you just hated the whole thing, and
the whole thing.
Right.
And I started to love it a bit more and more because of the community behind it.
Okay.
So when you really want to push yourself towards something, join a community. And you'll start love the community, and you'll start to love the associated activity with it. So that was the reason basically pushed me really hard on triathlon. And I think, like anything in life, to love something or to be good at something, you have to do it at a certain time. So the interesting part, I've read the research, to be good or to follow a habit, you have to do it between 40 to 60 times. Then it becomes a habit for you. Yeah. So triathlon. So I hated 3 sports. I hated running. I hated cycling. I hated swimming.
Okay.
But, as a habit, you have to do something at least for 40 to 60 times to love it. Plus the community you join.
Why not go with a sport that you liked as a child? If you hated these 3, why go particularly for these 3? Is it because you don't want to be in your comfort zone? Is that it?
I think you need, every time we go to the gym, you do it. I hated gyms, first of all.
Okay.
I don't like lifting. I don't like the environment behind gym. And these fitness classes, you join them one time, you join it every other week, and then it doesn't really help you. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to do a sport because a sport gives you habit, teach you something. Become athlete, you become good at sport. And that's why the reason why I want to sport to keep me motivated. Because people start to love their sport and start do it because they love it. And that was the reason for me to jump into triathlon.
But all
And
of them,
it was a good thing because, again, you have to do losing weight or being on sport. You have to do something on a very long period of time.
consistency is key.
100%. Yeah.
And
So
specifically these three sports. But still, I'm wondering what it was like as a child that, you liked. For instance, for me, when I was a child growing up, I had maybe football, maybe there was wrestling, and all of these sports were very prominent in my areas. So the triathlons are not accessible to a lot of people, here in Dubai especially. And since you're a Dubai kid, you would know more about that. But why not the usual? Why not football? Why not go into something that's more simplistic?
yeah, I like this Dubai kid, right? It looks like a bit
Not
spoiled kid. But I think there's lots of things I liked as a child. I think just playing around, going to the park. So I liked physical activity, but I didn't really do any sport related to it. I think I've done karate, like when I was a kid, like for
Right.
a short period of time. That's it, but nothing specific.
What triggered you to venture into this and transform yourself? What was that moment that made you decide now is the time, I have to do this, I have to change?
Well, you know, you're a smoker. You are an overweight. I was around 144, 45. You don't do sport. You feel heavy. You have a back pain. I think that's enough motive, right?
Well, that's enough motive.
So
Even mentally, you're very drained at all times if you're carrying that much around you.
yeah, and we talked about ventures and we talked about business, and I think you want to be successful in your business, but you're not successful with your life. Is that a bit confusing,
Yeah.
right?
It contradicts you as a person.
100%. So you need really to be within in a good terms to start to be in a good terms with others on your businesses.
How did how did this transformation, physical transformation, end up affecting you maybe as a CEO? How did it end up affecting you, changing you as a person? What did it do to your identity in general?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of changes happens when you, because running a business or being a CEO or running different ventures, you should be good in your body, you should be good in your mind, you should be good in a mental space, you should feel good about yourself. There's so many factors. So all of those helps you to make the right decisions. And if you think about someone running a business, the only thing you do is making decisions. So in a day, you do almost 100 to 150 decisions, small decisions.
Yeah.
And imagine if you do those decisions when you don't feel good about yourself. So it's really purely in the mental space and also in the physical space that you have fresh body every morning, you go there to work, you're satisfied about your physical and health life, or at least you do what you can. And I think that's really affect your day or success story in the business.
Now that you brought up business, most people when they see a CEO, when they see his businesses, they think about success. They think about, he's doing very well in life. He did this, he launched that. But very few people look at the picture and think about what went on behind the scenes, what made you the man that you are. And part of it is definitely attributed to failure. Failing again and again, failing your ventures because, maybe 30% or 40% of what you've actually worked on has come to life and the rest of it has, been scrapped off. How do you deal with failures? How do you deal with, working on something and not being able to make it a success? How do you deal with that?
I think part of life is to fail. Like life is not a curve up, it's a curve up and down, up and down, up and down. And part of to fail is opportunity to learn something new. You learn it, then you try to experiment something new, you fail, then you learn something, you fail. So it's part of life, failure. But quitting is not.
Mm-hmm. Quitting
It's
is not.
okay to fail. It's fine. You never quit the game.
Now that you told me about learning curves, let's get a bit personal. Tell me 3 things that life has taught you recently, whether this is in business or this is in your personal life or your relationships. Name 3 lessons that you recently learned.
Uh, Really, that's a very generic question, but I will give it a try. So first of all, you have to trust people. You really do. To be successful, you have to give trust to people. Second thing is to be reasonable with people also, to understand your limitation, to understand people's limitation, to understand your business constraints, to have an ability of awareness of what you do. And I would say third thing I've learned is to have hope.
Mhm.
There's always hope. And there's always think you can, when you have all the numbers says no, 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 you cannot do that. But there's a hope that this might work, and it works.
Right.
So having hope is really important. And I think it's in a business, as a to lead a business, forget about business, even in life, I like to be surrounded with positive people. I like to be surrounded with people that have the mindset that things might work. Don't worry about it, like just push for it. Because if you want to put negativity towards what you do, you might even fail without even trying. So, yeah.
With hope comes fear. With hope comes, feeling scared of certain things. It's a whole platter of emotions. What are you as a person most afraid of?
See, diagnostic, the word fear, is to, I'm going to be more philosophy on this. Fear is to fear something that you really think it will go into worst case scenario. And I don't think there's uncertainty versus fear. I'm uncertain about things. But fear, I think fear is to have something that you don't have control over and you cannot change. But also when you don't have control over, why you are fearful about it. So I feel fear is, I think you fear so many things, but sometimes you're not aware of those.
Right.
You really need to go through that. And I think it's momentarily too. Some people fear of death. Some people fear of, business,
Do you fear
establishing
death?
business. Death? No, I'm not
No.
afraid. Yeah.
You don't think that maybe if
See, I'm a
something
very
happens-
logical person. Death will come to all of us, right? This part of life. I would say I fear death when the people I care about are not very independent.
Right.
So I think this would be the most fearful thing for me. But also I do this after life planning.
Right.
I do something called drop dead policy.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
So if I drop dead right now, I understand what happens next. What happens?
So you want to be in control of, what happens immediately after.
Yes,
That's
because
what you
this is
mean.
part of planning, right?
Just be prepared for everything.
You have life planning, after life planning, so it's all about planning. So it's never ending.
So fearing for people that are in your life that you care about, does that make you, carry more like do you have a provider mindset, or do you have more like just generally a helpful mindset towards people in life?
Yeah, I think, my philosophy is to give and expect nothing in return. I love that. I've worked with that over my past, experiences. It always works. You don't have disappointed because you don't have expectation. So I think sometimes, you have failed experiences. People
Right.
takes advantage of that. But I think overall it works in my favor rather than against my favor. And yeah, I would keep doing that. And people trust people who gives. People trust and when you give your best in something and don't expect anything in return, people start to appreciate that. See, many think people are stupid. They are not. We have this emotional intelligence. Everyone has it, but it goes in a certain limit.
We see everything.
People sees
The smallest
do
of
you
things.
know do you know if the person is genuine or authentic? You would know. You don't need a genius to do that.
Definitely.
You would know if this is faking it, someone trying to be nice. And we see this in business, right? We see
Yeah.
this in personal life. You can name like how many people can act about a conversation. It's
Definitely.
very visible.
Were you always this ambitious to get to the status that you are currently?
Yes, of course. This is part of my life,
And
part of
has
me
it
as a
has it
person.
sort of grown more? Because when people start to achieve what they want, they stop feeling as hungry. Has that happened to you? Have you felt that way in your life that you achieved something, now you don't have that hunger anymore, that drive anymore to really go, after it and get something else done? Have you
Yeah.
felt that way?
Uh, Not really, because there's something else always in plan. There's another goal going on. I have a long vision goal. I have a short vision goal. Every short vision contribute towards the larger goal. So I'm always in pursuit of something that happens, and even during why I'm working towards something else pops up, and I try to achieve it. I try to get it. I try to do it. And sometimes it's not about my goal. Sometimes about others' goal,
Right.
people I care about. And I think it's a bit selfish when you follow your own goal alone, because my goal also to have others people fulfilling their goals.
But with such ambition comes a cost. Maybe in your personal life, maybe in your relationships, maybe, in general in life, with such ambition, whether it's professional or personal, how do you deal with the cost of ambition? First, what is the cost of ambition to you?
I think time takes a lot of time. And this is good the question because they've asked many people at the end of their life, do you regret spending time at work more than your family? And the answer was yes, all of them. All of them say it's not worth it. So
Would
I
you say
think
the same?
I would say the same, 100%. I think no matter at what cost, you should not come at the cost of your family.
Right.
Maybe take it the cost of your comfort, your relaxation, your whatever, not at the cost of their family.
Now that
Because that's what's gonna stay with you.
now that you talk about regret in general, what would you say to your younger self? Because of course everyone has regrets. Maybe you have regrets for some things that you've done when you were younger. What is one advice that you would offer your younger self when you were just venturing out of university or something?
Well, I have so many messages, but
The greatest message
the greatest message would be,
there.
see, there's so many things I really wish to be or to do when I'm younger. I think as a young person, I was not spending time to learn, not listening, not experiencing things in life. So I would go more on, I wish if I did habit, sport, that's one thing on a personal level. I wish if I increased the network of my friends in a younger age. And third thing, to be honest, I would say I travel some other places in the world. I think it's when you travel, when you leave the country you are born, you learn a lot.
Broadens your perspective a lot.
100%.
These are the three things
I
you
think
wish
I
younger.
was in one place for my whole childhood. Like I didn't travel much and so on. I think I would have traveled more. I would
Mhm.
have studied in a different place.
Studied university in a different
Correct.
place. Studied university as a whole in a different place, or maybe 1 year in one place, one in another. Something.
Exchange student that works, but I
Exchange
think
student, right.
the whole point of to experience different cultures, to experience different learnings angles. So I would say that.
With the industries that you're involved in comes a lot of creativity. What are you creative about in your personal life?
I think
What would you call art that you do?
I think I like to address conflicts.
Right.
Yeah. So I think in every conflict there's opportunity to grow, to solve, to evolve, and I think I'm creative in addressing conflicts and yeah, negotiating on certain aspects.
No, creativity makes me think about how AI has now taken over. You know, AI is making songs, AI is making videos, everything. Do you value AI more, or do you think human creativity is more, at risk right now?
Uh, I think I think a hybrid approach is the best. Like you have both. You have a creative person with the AI support.
Okay.
I think it's risky in the next 5 years or maybe 2 years. I think AI would be as creative or better as a human, but AI needs see art. Would you buy an art generated by ChatGPT?
No.
Exactly.
There's
Value.
nothing personal to it.
Need value,
No
need soul
character.
in it.
Right.
And I think regardless if AI will create a really nice painting, you will still see a hand painting looks way better than AI. So my question, even if their AI is smarter, they're more creative, human creativity will be appreciated and valued more.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Now I have a few quick questions.
Yeah.
Quick fire. You have
Fire,
to
fire,
answer
fire.
them quickly. Tell me one decision in your life that just ended up changing your life forever.
Starting the first company.
Okay.
It just started there. I started the first company without thinking. I had no business plan. I had nothing
Just
in mind.
impulse, instinct, pure.
Impulse. You just paid the amount, and I dipped my foot in the water.
What do you think 99% of the founders that have started a company, what do you think they misunderstand? What is one thing that you would tell them to focus on?
Patience. Needs time.
Were you lacking patience when you started out?
No, I had all the patience.
Right. What do you think is the difference between talkers and doers?
There's a very clear difference, right?
What were you?
You don't
You
do
were a
what you
doer.
talk.
I mean, you were a doer because you started your own company.
Yeah, I think doer is more personality. You know, when you wanna, for example, you have a meeting, you have an action plan, you say, okay, when we have to do it. I think it's to action, you talk.
Right.
As simple as it is.
Suppose, God forbid, suppose you lose everything that you've built. Suppose you have to start again tomorrow. What is the first step? What's the first thing? You have nothing.
Start from zero.
Start from
Zero,
zero.
zero.
Absolute.
I'll go to beach, sell ice cream, and grow that. Sell different ice cream, different kinds. Start selling balloons. Start selling bowls.
So sales.
Selling something, and start growing from there again.
That's where it starts.
I think when you start again, you go back to basics, which is your ability to think and the ability to do things. So I would depend more on the physical activity and the brain activity. So that's my answer.
How close do you think a CEO and their employees are when it comes to spotting personal skill? Do you think you're friends with your employees?
Yeah, sure. 100%.
So you know
Any
them for
person can respect the work, respect the time, can be an employee. And actually, I'm also a big fan of having friends with the companies. And I think when you run a business, you need few things very important. You need people who stick with you, help you, and support you, and you need people who understand the business and be loyal to you. So if you achieve that through any person, regardless your friends, your external, anyone, I think I'm in favor of having them in the team.
But still, there's a major difference between you being an employer and you having employees. What do you think is the cost of leadership, the loneliness of being at the top?
Talk with another lonely person.
Another leader from another.
Exactly.
So you're never really lonely.
100%.
Fair enough. Understandable.
Yeah.
I have. I'm gonna bring up choices, 2 options for you, and you just pick one of them, with
Okay.
maybe a short little. If you feel like explaining
short,
them.
fast thing.
Short and quick. Would you build fast or would you build perfect?
Fast. Perfect. You cannot build perfect. It's impossible. I'll go fast.
Dubai or global?
Dubai.
Dubai.
You start from Dubai, then you go global.
Right. Risk, risk or stability.
Risk.
Bootstrap or raise capital.
Oh, we came to raise funds. Bootstrap, but if you need it immediately, bootstrap if you can. Raise fund only when you think you need it in the future, not immediately. So it's time very important to give you an answer.
Why is that important? I mean, if you need something immediately, if you're desperate for something, wouldn't you want it at that time?
Yeah, that's a wrong strategy. If you need immediately, then people will take advantage of that. You raise the wrong amount, no, will not raise enough. That means you're not strategic, you're not thinking quick, so it's not going to help you in the long
It's
term.
naive.
So you really raise capital when you think you will need it after 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. So when you talk to your VCs, angel investors, you tell them, I don't need your money immediately, but I will need it after 4 to 3 months. Then they will respect that because there's a planning in it.
Right. To end this whole segment, I would want to ask you, what do you see at the end of the line for yourself? What makes you think that you would be sitting back as an old man and you would think, okay, I've done everything that I could in life and my life has been a successful one?
I think I've seen being inspired by others on this topic. So there's a lot of my answers comes from other people. And I think I'll follow my purpose and will fulfill an impactful purpose into it. So it's not like I'm gonna maybe I'll sell the business. Maybe I'll be out of everything I work and will fulfilling. Maybe I could be teaching schools and kids in a school at 65 or 70 years old.
But selling your businesses, do you not think that would impact your legacy negatively because you wouldn't have, someone who inherited them? Or would you be?
I think legacy. Legacy is not only about your name. For me, legacy, when you have the people you care about, they're no longer in need of you or your name because you make them independent. You make them relying on what you've built for them. Legacy is I'm not here to just keep my name later or keep the companies later. It's just for them to to do something meaningful, to do something, they could be, doesn't mean to have lots of money, doesn't have to be lots of companies. Bill Gates, he put his 99% or 90% of his wealth into foundation, Bill Gates Foundation. So legacy is not something I want to just, if it happens, it's good. If it doesn't happen, I'll be more worried about leaving good impact. Leaving to have a good family, good kids, good positive impact in the society rather than just leaving companies.
Right.
I'll never get attached to the companies I build. I think attachment, it's exiting is built of my cycle, entrepreneurship cycle, and I think we should exit the business at some point. We should not love the business. Some people love it. Some people keep their name there, but most of them goes public, and then it gets VCs involved. There's investors' money in it. It goes a bit away. Your grand gets my remember you or not. Do you remember your great grandfather?
No.
You remember your great grandfather?
No.
Huh.
I just remember my grandfather,
but
sort of grew up with him.
So it goes away. It fades away, right? So. Yeah.
Fair enough. It was lovely speaking with you. Really had fun getting to know you as a person, getting to know you personally on a personal level. And thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Arsalan. Thank you for your time. Thank you for those wonderful questions.